Hey, I'm Ben, one of the chefs from Sorted Food, and today I'm going to show you one of those basic skills that becomes the bedrock of so many dishes. I'm going to show you two different variations. You guys have been asking for it loads, it's been searched for loads. It's homemade pasta, and it really only involves two ingredients. Right, I'm here with Mike, who's going to keep me on track and make sure I don't get too chefy, but what I want to get across here is the fact that as chefs, sometimes recipes are really useful. Often, it's easier just to remember the basics and then feel free to ad-lib. So the basics to pasta is for every portion you're making, 100 grams of flour and 1 egg. That's it. So today, we'll make the pasta dough, same pasta dough, but then we'll divide it in two and we'll do two different things with it. One, we'll roll out, cut, and we'll get nice strands of pasta, tagliatelle or pappardelle, you choose. The other version will be a filled pasta. So we'll fill it with a very simple filling and show you exactly how to make ravioli or tortellini. First things first, enough pasta for you and I, Mike. So that's 2 people, it's 200 grams of flour. Season it with salt, 200 grams equals 2 eggs. Now the brave professional chefs out there will just do this on the table. They'll make a well, they'll put the eggs in the middle, start to bring it together. Fine, you can do that. If you're at home, this is much cleaner, much easier. I'm also going to add in a glug of oil, about a teaspoon per egg, and then just bring it together into a dough. Generally speaking, I like to mix it in the middle and occasionally sort of just bring in a bit more. Once it's almost together, you can get your hands involved. Look at that, once it starts to come together, it kind of sticks to all those little bits in the bowl and the bowl ends up practically clean. And then you just need to knead it until it is really soft and elastic. I mean, this is already coming together nicely, but it just needs a bit of work. Happy with that? You can give it a poke, you can see what we mean. It's like Play-Doh. You want to wrap it in cling film and then let it rest in the fridge, or actually even just at room temperature, for half an hour. Now while we wait for our pasta to rest, you want about half an hour, but actually it can be anything up to a day in the fridge if you want to get ahead. We can make a filling for our filled pasta and get a large pan of water up to a rapid boil, because we'll need that later on. The filling today is going to be based around cream cheese. You can add to the cream cheese whatever you've got in the fridge. Today we're going super classic. I've got some fresh spinach. All I've done is wilt it by pouring boiling water over the spinach, a few seconds, and then squeezing out most of the moisture.
Best to sort of wait for the water to cool a bit before you squeeze the spinach.
Yeah, squeeze with tongs, get it on some kitchen roll, and when it's cool enough, squeeze. Or take it out with tongs and put it into cold water so you immediately stop the cooking, so it stays really green, and then it'll be cool enough to squeeze. Spinach, lemon, and nutmeg. Probably not even a quarter of a teaspoon once it's been freshly grated, with plenty of salt and pepper. I would also say this is quite a lot that I've made for filled pasta that we're going to demonstrate today, but it's also delicious with other pasta. You don't have to fill it, because if you put that into hot pasta like tagliatelle with some of the pasta water to let it down, you get an amazing creamy sauce to go around pasta if you can't be bothered to fill it.
Oh, he's in his herb box.
So the filling is done for one of our pastas. For the other one, super simple, lemon, garlic, fresh herbs. So a clove of garlic, cut into wafer thin slithers. Remember your knife technique, keep your fingers back. And just warm up in olive oil in a pan. You don't really want to fry it and make it go golden and crisp, you're just infusing it. And we'll chop the herbs. Perhaps a bit spoiled for choice, I've got fresh oregano, fresh basil, and fresh thyme. But you use whatever you've got. You can chop some spinach, you could chop some rocket. Right, pasta's rested. I'm going to take half of it and roll it out nice and thin on a floured surface. Not too much flour. Remember, you've already done your recipe and your ratio of 100 grams to 1 egg. So you don't want to add too much more flour to your board. But if it's a bit sticky, of course you'll have to. And then you want to basically get it super thin. Pretty much the thinner the better. And the cutting by hand is also really easy. You want to fold it over on itself so you get many layers thick and then cut it. The risk of doing that is that all the layers stick together. So a little sprinkling of semolina stops those layers from sticking, but also won't make it claggy when you later boil it. Depending on how fancy you want to be, at home, I use it all, but these end bits aren't going to be straight and perfect. So you basically cut them off, but they are what I would call pasta scraps. They're also great to throw into soups and broths and things, just cook out and add. But now you've got a straight edge, we can cut pasta. And if we've done it well enough, we should have these lovely long strands of pasta. Now, a couple of options if you're making homemade pasta. These are ready to go straight into your water, or you can hang them over a coat hanger and dry them out. 24 hours at room temperature and you'll have yourself dried pasta. So that was about the 100 grams, about the 1 egg, so about half the batch we made. Basically, sort of like a handful of pasta is a good, generous portion, and then you just want to lower it into rapidly boiling, heavily salted water. You want to try and bring it back to a boil as soon as it can. So look, you've got your oil and your garlic, squeeze in lemon juice, loads of those fresh herbs we cut up. Fresh pasta, no time at all. You want it al dente, which literally means to the tooth, a slight bite. Basically, when it's all floating and into that gorgeous infused lemon and garlic and herby oil with a tablespoon or two of that hot, starchy pasta water.
So the starchy pasta water basically just thickens it up a bit.
It emulsifies it, it thickens it. It's almost like the glue, but it's also part of the seasoning because that was seasoned water.
Ah.
And I hope it really is easy to follow. 100 grams of pasta flour, 1 egg, pinch of salt, a little bit of olive oil. Knead it until it's like Play-Doh. Rest it, roll it, cut it, boil it. Yummy. Easy, right? And you can cut the pasta into thinner strands, fatter sheets, and you can mix in any herbs or flavours you like. A little kick of chilli is really nice too. However, same dough can also be used for filled pasta. Exactly the same, you're going to want a floured surface, not floured too much. Roll it out as thin as you can, and I really mean thin this time because to fill a pasta, you need pasta on both sides of your filling, so it's going to end up double thickness. And for this one, I'm going even longer and thinner because if we're going to fill it, then you've got two options. You either roll 2 sheets, put your filling on one and put the other sheet on top, or what I find a lot easier is just roll one, put the filling on one edge and just flop it over. So I'm going for the flop technique. Teaspoon blobs. Oh no.
What?
Well, I started at the top half of that and I've ended up at the bottom. Look at that. What a mess. So, top tip for everyone at home, you want to put your filling just above the centre line or just below the centre line. Not half and half. Right, water acts as glue. Fold it over. And then what you want to do is use the cups of your hand just to kind of seal in around that filling. If you've got one of these, you're probably quite fancy. If you've got one of these, probably means you eat pizza more often. If not, you've probably got one of these. Any of those work. What you want to do is cut either side of it. Exactly the same as the other pasta into rapidly boiling, heavily salted water, about 2 minutes until they float. A little bit of tomato sauce for the base of the plate. There's 101 ways to make filled and shaped pasta. This is pretty much a foolproof, fail-safe way. You can mix up the flavours, obviously. You can mix up the shapes, obviously. You can put in more filling, less filling. You do you. There you go, looks quite fancy, but let's be honest, same easy pasta, maybe an extra step when it comes to doing the filling rather than just cutting of pasta. If I was at home, I'd probably run the other 3 on. But there we go. I appreciate you're not going to make homemade pasta at home all the time. I don't. But when you do, it is exceptional. Whether you toss it through things, fill it with things, you guys can create. I said this was just the foundation and the basis. So, you know we like to talk and share ideas. Comment down below, what do you like to serve with your pasta? In it, on it, in between it? You tell us. And as ever, join the conversation over on Twitter. So this pretty much wraps up our September Skills mini-series. Tell us what you thought. Did you enjoy it? Did you use a skill? Did you like a skill? Don't forget, head over to sorted.club where there's loads of other blogs and skills that you can pick up. And if enough of you give this video a like, we'll know to make some more. Can we eat pasta now?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh my goodness, that is fantastic.
Garlicky, herby.
But lemony. Oh, I've got to try that.